On December 3rd, 2014, I was knighted as a certified public accountant in the great state of Texas. This looks pretty legit, doesn't it? Why did I want to be a CPA? How did I pass the exams? Was it worth it? Is getting a CPA worth it today? I'm going to answer those questions in this video. If you don't know who I am, I started my own CPA firm in 2020. I create content about how I run my CPA firm and talk a lot about the accounting industry. I also have a separate tax related channel called Tax Time. The goal for this channel is to bring more transparency to the industry and help inspire the next generation of accountants. AI will replace you. Get out of here. So why did I want to be a CPA? I first became interested in accounting in high school after taking an accounting class and fell in love with debits and credits. Nerd! At the time, I had no concept of what a CPA was, and I didn't until I entered the accounting program at Texas Tech. There was a 5-year master's program, and after you survived that, you were able to take the CPA exam. Getting a master's seemed like the right thing to do. It would make me more attractive as a job applicant, get me more money in the long run, and make me smarter, or appear smarter. The CPA certification seemed to be an added bonus and a formality after you got your master's. Similar to getting a master's, having a CPA title would make me more attractive, get me more money, and make me appear smarter. I also learned during my internship that you couldn't become a manager in a lot of firms without a CPA. Who doesn't want to be a manager? I thought. The brand that comes with the CPA is unbeatable and is widely recognizable, even if no one really knows what a CPA does. 9 times out of 10, people will know what a CPA is compared to an EA. They are vastly different, but the general population thinks of a CPA when they think of a tax preparer, even though most CPAs probably don't prepare tax returns. In short, I wanted to be a CPA because it guaranteed me a job forever. Yeah, but AI is going to replace you. How did I pass the CPA exams? Back in my day, the CPA exams looked different than they do now. There were 4 exams: audit and attestation, financial accounting and reporting, taxation and regulation, and business environment and concepts, RIP. Now there are 3 core exams that you're required to take: audit, FAR, and reg, and 3 discipline exams where you only have to pass 1: business analysis and reporting, information systems and controls, and tax compliance and planning. I can't speak on any of the discipline exams, but my study strategy can still be relevant. Right after I graduated from college, I went straight to studying for the exams. My strategy was to start with the hardest exam, FAR, and end with the easiest, reg. I thought reg would be the easiest exam because I specialized in tax for my master's and had a tax busy season under my belt. Dummy. I already had a job lined up as a tax accountant in a CPA firm, and I delayed the start date till January of the next year. I delayed starting my job to give me time to study for every exam and a buffer of extra time in case I failed one. I ended up passing every exam on the first try. Thank God. Because I wasn't working, I could devote my life to studying full time. I think that was the biggest factor for me passing all of the exams on the first try. Trust me, I am not that smart. I have to study a long time to understand something. Studying for the exams was my full-time job. That's all I did during the day. I studied, and I studied, and I studied some more. I would study every day at my mom's kitchen table for at least 6 hours, and then take the weekend off for the most part because I wanted to spend time with my girlfriend. FAR exam was first because it was the hardest due to the sheer amount of information that it covered. I studied for FAR for over a month and made a perfect score of a 75. If you didn't know, a 75 is the lowest score you can make to pass. That test was brutal. I remember walking out of the testing center feeling defeated. Next up was audit. I studied for audit for about a month and made another near perfect score of 76. The audit exam just felt like memorization. With FAR, you had to understand concepts, but with audit, you can memorize a lot of it. Next was BEC. BEC was interesting because there was a lot of writing. While I was taking BEC, I was 100% certain that I failed it. The questions felt impossible and there was a lot of content that I had never studied or seen before. But I ended up making the highest score out of all the exams with an 82. I studied for BEC for about 2.5 weeks. Finally, Reg. I also studied for Reg for about 2.5 weeks and thought it would be the easiest. While I was taking the exam, I was thinking, I have this guaranteed. But I ended up making a 78. A little too close for comfort, but a passing score is a passing score. Oh, I forgot to mention that while I was studying for the audit exam, I was in this crazy car accident that knocked me unconscious and gave me a concussion. That could be why I talk so slow these days. If you have the opportunity not to have to work while you study for the CPA exams, I highly recommend doing so. All of my coworkers that studied and worked at the same time hated their life for months, and most of them did not pass all of their exams on their first try. If you do need to work, see if your job will allow you to study while there's downtime or will allow you to work reduced hours. If your number one goal is to pass the exams, you need to make sacrifices now for the long-term payoff. I do not regret not working while I was studying. I lived with my mom and was living off the money I made during my internship. But I do understand if you have to work while you're studying. If that's the case, then you have to sacrifice all of your free time outside of work and devote your weekends to studying. Was getting a CPA worth it for me? Yes. Moving on. Just kidding. Let me elaborate. To get my CPA, I had to have an extra year of schooling, take a really hard test, get experience for about a year, and pass an ethics exam. What does that get me? It gets me instant credibility with anyone that is looking to hire a tax professional. It gets me a lot of job opportunities that requires a CPA. It makes me more marketable to a non-CPA. It makes me better than EAs. Just kidding, EA gang. Don't hurt me. I also wouldn't be able to own a CPA firm in Texas, which gives my company more credibility. You can't put a price on the instant trust you have from the public because of those 3 letters. Because it wasn't that hard for me to get a CPA, it was totally worth it, and I would do it again. If getting a CPA required me to make way more sacrifices and I didn't end up in the accounting space, it wouldn't have been worth it. Is getting a CPA worth it today? I'm leaning more towards a neutral stance. I can't say a CPA will solve your problems and make you more successful than without one. To do the job that I do for my clients, I don't need a CPA. All the credentials are doing for me right now is building credibility. Yes, I do have a lot of education, but everything that I know right now can be learned outside of school. Think about your goals and think about having a CPA would help you with those goals. Then think about the work that's needed to get a CPA. I think we're going to see a trend of enrolled agent certifications increasing and CPA certifications decreasing. The CPA certification feels like it's about to go extinct. Yeah, because of AI. No, because you don't need it to still be successful. Instead of putting a lot of effort into getting a CPA, you can start your career earlier and get a head start. The AI CPA is fighting a losing battle until they give us some good reasons to actually get a CPA. I hope you enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe if you did. Tell me about your CPA exam experience or if you're about to take the CPA exam in the comments below. Cheers.